You're listening to the Wilson King Podcast. Run that track.
This episode of the Wilson King Podcast is brought to you by Right Live. Need a wedding DJ? Play in a band and looking for gigs or networking? Have a venue that needs an exciting event night? Contact Right Live for all your wedding, entertainment, band, and DJ needs. We are dedicated to providing the best entertainment, marketing, and production for all your special events. Go to our website at www.rightliveevents.com, rightliveevents@gmail.com, or visit us on Facebook at Right Live.
What's up, everybody? This episode's brought to you by Josh's Man Cave at Total Image Salon. If you're new to the area or just looking for a new barber, go see my friend Josh. He's a wizard with a straight razor and knows his way around a set of clippers and gives a damn good haircut. I should know. I go see him twice a month. If you're of age, he offers you a shot of whiskey or a nice cold brew while he cuts your hair. If you go down and see him, let him know I sent you. Up, everybody. How's it going? We got a dope dude with us right now. He's a returning guest.
Yeah.
Really good homie of mine. We got Midas from the Pale Garbage Rappers. What's up, brother?
Nothing. I think this is the third time
Yeah.
on here. Yeah. How you been?
Dude, I've just been chilling, killing, working hard. Barely know what to do with myself whenever I'm not actually busy.
That's what's up. I feel that, man.
Between this, the Army, and my regular job, most time I feel like I ain't got time to fucking think sometimes.
I hear that. I definitely hear that.
But speaking of working hard, hardly working, or whatever in between, you've got some pretty dope stuff coming up in the next week, right?
Yeah. Friday, April 15th, we got the first official single from the Pale Garbage Rappers dropping. It's Demon Mode by Lord Dynasty. The video was shot by Capture PH. The beat was produced by Ayo Nikki. It's all in-house. It's our first official project. We're really excited about it. The video is sick. The song is sick. I feel like we're going to have a great launch.
Dude, I'm excited to see it because I've been watching you on the good old Facebook and all the socials. I've been, at first I was like, because whenever it was, the James R. Culp Studios, I was like, okay, let's see where he's going with this.
Well, that was just kind of like a place filler. It's like I knew I was doing something, I just didn't know exactly what I was doing, and I had to build the idea, but it was basically a restart of a whole career, you know what I'm saying? So I just started from scratch. And that was just the name filler until I figured out what I was doing. Then when I signed Nick and Dynasty, we probably had the plan together 6 months before we came out with it, just working out all the little details. But, yeah, so that's basically how we got the Pale Garbage Rappers from James Culp Studios, because that was just the place filler until I figured out what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, Pale Garbage Rappers has kind of a funny story behind coming about it, doesn't it? From what you told me, it was kind of like a quick little, you found something, okay, this is what we're calling it type of thing.
Yeah, well, basically what was happening is okay, I'm beating my head up against a wall for this record label name. And I'm looking at pictures of I hate to say, this is the weirdest story, but I'm looking at pictures of myself and I'm like, how do I describe that? Because, I know I'm about to take a backseat and let the young boys run and but I still want to have my image projected somehow. And then I'm looking at myself, I'm like, Pale Garbage Rapper. And, the whole time thinking the Garbage Pail Kids in my head. And I was like, oh, this works. We can market the whole team like that. That's how we put it as a unit, kind of like Wu-Tangy. But
as soon as I saw you release it, I was like, holy shit, this is about to get legit. I saw that and I was like, I fucked with it from day one.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Which you personally just had some stuff come out, didn't you? Within the last few months or last year?
What was it? It was March 18th. I dropped the Oxycoffin, which is it's new to y'all, but to me it's 12 years old. I've had it sitting in the can, but it was still relevant, and it's my favorite piece of music. And it was kind of at the point where I had stopped making music. I had that and another really good album in the can, which I think I'm going to drop soon. And I wanted to put it out, and I was finally like, well, that's kind of how I'll leave. Like, that'll be the first release on Pale Garbage Rappers, and then I'll go do this manager, like, thing and get that done.
Well, I remember seeing a post about it, and I was like, I got to go listen to this. And then I forgot about it. You know how it is.
Oh, I do.
And I went and listened to it. I was like, dude, this is why I fucking love this guy. Like, I fell in love with it. Like, it's...
Thank you, bro.
It is one of the albums out of local people that I have on repeat.
I appreciate that, because I'll be honest with you, like, I've made a lot of music in my life. The reason I had to release that is because I loved it. Like, I wanted it on Apple Music for me. I'm not even going to stunt front or anything else. Like, that's why it got released, because I was like, even if no one else feels this, I want to be able to just pull it up in my car. So it'll be a good spot filler for the first issue, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, what you were doing is so awesome for these younger guys, because you don't have a lot of people that stick their necks out for anybody anymore. It's either you have that one hot song that, like, gets your name out there, or you do one album and then no one else really cares anymore. Yeah. So, like, what you're doing for these younger guys and these newer people coming out, or girls, whoever comes on,
Right, of course.
But, like, what you're doing is so awesome, because it's hard for people to make it in the industry and find that home body, like, family type of thing.
I feel like there's a whole generation that's missing, like, the old head from the neighborhood, like, basically being like, don't do that, do it this way. And, like, I feel like a whole generation missed that, and I feel like our generation really needs to get back to that. Like I'm 42 right now. I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like people at my age should be looking down and being like, yo, how can I help the world get better? Because shit is obviously not going great right now. And, like, I don't know, it was one of those things, like, my boy Danny Maynard, he reposted this meme a couple times while I wasn't making music, and it really stuck with me, and I know this sounds dumb as shit, but it says something to the effect of, be who you needed when you were younger. And I'll tell you who I needed when I was younger, was somebody to just be like, yo, there's a chance with this music, not just, like, throw stones, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think everybody, no matter what industry you're in, if it's content creating or if it's making music or doing art, you kind of need that person in the back of your head that's like, hey, man, like, you need, push harder, or, hey, you were doing great, but maybe try this or try that. And it's really hard to find that mentor nowadays, because you got people that are, life catches up, man, and it's hard to have anyone really mentoring you, because, they're caught up in their shit, or you're caught up in your shit to where you can't really go full steam ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky, man, because the guys I got on my team, they're geniuses. Every single one of them in their own right, like, for the thing they do for the team, they're as good as I could find. And they just kind of, and they're all such natural parts of my life. It was like so I wouldn't even call it like a mentor situation, because I'll tell you what, I learn things from them guys every day. It's just kind of like, I know what works and what doesn't as far as, like, actually making money off the music. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, there's more, in my opinion, like, art is art, right?
Fair.
And because I love my tattoos, I love my paintings, I love, graphic design.
Heck yeah.
Art is art. And I feel like sometimes what scares, gets a lot of people out of it is they're like, damn, I ain't making money. I need to go do this. But, like, I love watching people who, like, keep with the hustle. And then that one day, that one thing happens, and it just changes their life forever.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally how it works. It's you grind and you grind and you grind, then something catches and you're there. And, like, the first step takes 20 years, and then everybody thinks you're an overnight success because they only saw the last step.
I mean, that's how it is with everything. Like,
yeah.
Put podcasting into a thing, right? Like Joe Rogan. I didn't find him till 3-4 years ago. I knew about him through comedy, but I didn't know about his podcast.
Right.
And he really blew up, like, a little bit before COVID and into COVID. Like, JRE blew up like crazy. It was already huge, but people forget about those earlier episodes he did where they're just sitting in his living room, him and Redman, just chilling.
Right.
And, seeing where he's at now, like a lot of people don't remember watching his older stuff and watching that progression. They just see where he's at now, and everyone's like, man, I want to be like Joe Rogan. And then people start a podcast, get 5 episodes in, and they realize how much work it is, and they're like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
We need out.
I think that's the most important part of anything, really, is the team you have around you. Make sure they're willing to do the amount of work you will. Like, don't carry nobody because there's no time. Like, I mean, everybody got to be given 100% at all points.
Oh, 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, the team I got around me right now that has helped me through a lot, give shouts out to him. Jorge Cuesas, he's done pretty much all of our graphic design.
That's what's up.
Matt Eubank does all of our audio editing.
Okay.
I do all of our video editing.
Okay.
Because I want to learn it.
Right.
Video editing's one of the cool. Like, I remember in high school taking a theater class or a video production class, and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been getting into a lot lately, like trying to do the little editing for the interviews and stuff myself. Like, Vince been teaching me a lot of stuff, and just like, homie, do it this way. Like, so I got basically the GOAT throwing me tips. So I mean, I feel like I'm progressing pretty well, but like, I mean, I'm not Vince. I tell you that much. Like, but it's a fun process, man. Like, it's a super fun process.
Dude, video editing is one of the weirdest processes to me because, like, the more I do it, the more I'm, like, remembering stuff I learned in high school, like throwing a fade in here, throwing a fade out there. And so, like, there's, like, a lot of stuff that I'm learning as the time goes. And it's the same thing with anything you get into, and you have no idea what you're doing. The further you get into it, there's some, like, little things that you learn yourself that helps you a little bit better than maybe this other thing over here that you tried.
Right.
And, everything's a process. Everything's a process. It doesn't matter if it's your career or if it's your hobby or trying to learn something new. Everything is a process.
Yeah. I mean, everything got to start somewhere. And I feel today a lot of people don't want to start nowhere. They want to start at the end. Like, you got to do the work. And I mean, I feel like the social media generation just kind of is like, they're so used to everything being instant at this point that they feel success should also be instant. And it never will be. You know what I'm saying?
No. Well, I remember I watched an interview with Mr. Beast. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I remember him talking about how he probably 4 or 5 years just like hustled and hustled and hustled. Maybe got a couple hundred views here, a couple hundred views there, maybe a little bit more, But I remember him saying, like, all it took was us doing one video, and we clicked. But it took me 5-6 years to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, people see their idols or, see someone that they look up to on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and see where they're at, but then they don't remember that, hey, maybe that person put in a shit ton of work. Or maybe it was one of those lucky instances where they did one thing and it went viral, and boom, here they are.
But also, just on the flip side of that, I think a lot of the reason people think it's an overnight success, and I'll take Mr. Beast, for instance, like, because you go back to the beginning of his channel and he erased all that original work. It's not there. The low view stuff isn't there. Like, he removed it for the strength of the channel, which I understand, like, the algorithm and why you want to do that. But I think it also gives an unfair perception of where that channel started. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that is one thing I can say with this show will never happen.
Nope.
You will never, ever, ever see me delete, erase, or remove any of our past content. It doesn't matter if it was our very first episode we ever did that you can still listen to. Like, it will always be there. So that maybe one day a kid finds us and he's like, dang, I wonder what all he's done. And they can see the work that was put in. And maybe I can inspire that person, or maybe that person's like, damn, he's fucking dumb for putting in all that time. You know what I mean? Well, whatever it is. But
yeah, like,
if I can sit there and have someone go back and look at, 10 years from now, go back and look at our first episode and say we're on episode 500, right? And they go back and look at that, and then they decide, oh, hey, man, I want to hear the progression of how this show has grown, and putting in the work is all it is. You know,
that's all it is.
Consistency, putting in the work, and doing what you want to do with whatever you're wanting to do as a job, a hobby. You know, like i.e., I snowboard. It's a hobby to me. But in the wintertime, if I'm not here doing the podcast or hanging out with my old lady, I'm probably on the mountain trying to learn a new trick.
Right. That's what you love to do. I mean, that's the point of life, doing what you love to do, right? I mean, what else is there?
If you don't do what you love to do as a hobby or as a job,
you're just going to be miserable.
Life is going to be miserable. Yeah. And I found that out early enough that I could make a change.
Yeah. I mean, I quit making music for a bunch of years, and I'll tell you what, all jokes aside, it gave me like mental depression that I couldn't shake. That's completely gone now. It's like it was never there. And it's weird. I mean, I guess if you take something someone loves away from them, it just, no matter what it is, it takes a part out of them.
Oh, dude, for sure. Sorry, I just saw something on the...
Oh, it's all good. I was like, what, we got comments?
Oh, dude, we do. You got Vincent Ortega tuned in, said the GOAT.
Oh, what up, Vince?
And he also tuned in and he said, love the setup. So I commented back to him, and I was like, much love. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, that's Vince. That's the dude that's Capture PH that does the videos.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's the GOAT.
Dude, the videos you guys have done are on another level, in my opinion.
I appreciate that, man. Like, we really take our aesthetic and, like, little details really seriously. Like, me and him, there's so many little details in the background of videos. Like, we try to make it so no matter how far you look into the video, you'll see something new, like in the background and stuff. And, I mean, we definitely take time on that. I appreciate that.
Well, if you don't mind me asking you, are most of your videos shot locally here? Or do you guys do a little bit of traveling too?
I think we've done almost everything locally. Like, we've got a bunch of travel stuff planned, but, like, right now we're focusing on, like, this area, basically. We're trying to expand this area's music scene. Like, that's the whole goal. So we're trying to show people this area, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, not to give too much away and speak on future plans, but Vince is from the Philippines. His family owns resorts over there. And I'm thinking it's going to be this winter when it gets cold here. We're going to go over there and shoot a song I've been holding on to for 2 years to shoot this video in the Philippines. It would have probably actually been the first release before Paradise, but then we wanted to shoot it on this resort, his family's resort in the Philippines. So we're going to try to get over there this year to shoot that video. Like,
not trying to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to make an announcement. I'm sorry for the lagginess. We are on Starlink out here, and the satellite dropped the satellite in the sky. The satellite dish dropped the satellite in the sky, so like it got a little bit laggy. So I want to apologize for that. But anyways, that's dope that you're thinking about going to the Philippines to do.
Yeah, well, that's where he's from. It's like just like we do marketing over there, man. Like that's his country, that's his scene. So we make sure he's big there. You know what I'm saying? That's his home. Like we want to go shoot there,
dude. That. Just doing that would help out getting reach out there. You know what I mean? Like that shows love for more than just this area, and it helps other people find.
Yo, their culture supports us. Like they love us. Like in all respect to them, like they gravitated to us so fast. I don't know if it was my music, Vince's logo, or what, but like especially on the Facebook page, they show us a lot of love from Cebu. Like straight up, like. I've actually learned how to say little things in Filipino because of their comments. Like to speak little chunks of their island languages from like Googling it and seeing the same things so much. Like they show a lot of love.
Dude, isn't that wild though? Like no matter what you do, like going in and looking at like where your reach is at and seeing where people are listening to you at.
Blows my mind every time.
I know right now, if you go and look at our stats off of Buzzsprout to see like where like, you know, because you can it breaks all of our stats down by country, city, state, like, and I'm pretty sure this show alone has had multiple downloads in at least 10 to 12 other countries.
That's awesome.
And it fucking blew, like the first time, like I think it was one of the first episodes we did. It might have been like with Kevin, aka Youngstar. Shout out to you.
Oh, yeah.
And
What up, youngster?
but it was one of our first episodes, and it was like Netherlands. I'm like, what the fuck? This made it to the Netherlands? Like I wasn't expecting to get out of the U.S. yet.
Well, yo, he's international. He's played some places, man. Like don't sleep on him. He has played some places.
Yeah, but and then just seeing like, cause I do my best not to pay attention to numbers still, because paying attention to numbers could be the biggest thing to either make you or break you. And the numbers I started paying attention a little bit more this year, but I'm just like, you know what? If people want to listen, they want to listen. But I pay attention just so I can see, okay, this is the content people are liking, or this is the content people aren't liking. You know what I mean? But I'm never going to steer away from doing what I want to do.
Nah. What's the point? I mean, the only numbers I really look at anymore are followers and subscribers, because I feel like that's all that matters. Everything else is just fluff to get there.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, watching your channel grow, as long as your channel's growing, may it be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, whatever you're on, no matter what it is, as long as those subscribers and followers are growing, your numbers outside of that are going to grow too, because if people are gravitating towards you, they're going to gravitate towards the content you're putting out.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. Sorry, that was my mom. I had to text her back real quick.
Oh, no, dude.
What's
you're
up,
good.
Mom? But, yeah, I mean, if you grow your followers, you grow your subscribers, your numbers are going to grow just because of that. Like, and that's why I really just started, like, focusing on, like, and then seeing where they're starting to follow and try to figure it out, man. It's all like a big puzzle.
Dude. I've never been a big social media person before doing anything with the podcast. I've always been, I hop on, might share a couple things, you know what I mean? But I've never been like a consistent poster personally. You know what I mean? And then doing this, it's like, well, shit, now I got to like learn how the algorithm works overnight almost. But it's all a learning process for whatever you do, because the algorithms are all the time changing. Mm-hmm. It could be one thing one week, and then the next week is what you have to do to get into the algorithm again.
Yeah, it's a perpetual motion thing. And like, I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but my experience, Facebook is dying. It's not dead, but it is definitely on a decline. And, like, because I was starting to notice we were getting less and less interactions on Facebook, but more and more interactions on YouTube. And I think people might be just going away from this social media model because it's just too toxic. And, like, they're actually, like, just gravitating directly to YouTube and stuff now. Like, because you can pick your toxicity there. You don't just scroll till you see something that makes you sick.
Yeah. Oh, dude, 100%. I mean, even on TikTok, the toxicity is getting really, really crappy. And it's one thing to hop on there, just see something funny, but like you go and look at some of the comments and like people are being nasty to some of these creators just because they don't agree with what they said.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, we're all people. Why can't we just love each other?
It's like, keep scrolling, bro. Like, I mean, I don't understand the internet trolls. Like, I don't understand how you can give that much energy to something you don't like. Like, it just seems like wasted. Like, there's so much more you could do with your life than tell random person on the internet why they should kill themselves. Like, I mean, it's a lot. What?
Oh, that's the ice maker for my Crown and Cokes.
Okay, it sounded so weird in the headphones.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
What is going on?
Dude, honestly, this setup since the last time you've been in here has changed.
Oh, yeah, it's really nice in here. Like, you have done wonderful things with this place. Like,
dude, the addition of the ring lights has helped out, which I bought those purposely because of doing video now.
Hell yeah.
But I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, we need to do something different in here. We already got the fridge full of Coke or beer, water, whatever the fuck people want to drink. I was like, let's put a fucking liquor shelf in here, too, so the liquor's already in here if someone wants to have, like,
hell yeah,
some whiskey on the rocks. But I started steering away from drinking beer because the Army called me fat, and I'm like, I need to find something else so I can have a couple of drinks and not put on a shit ton of weight.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Like, I just had to steer away from the alcohol altogether. Like, it's just, I don't know.
There will come a day.
I don't like not having the clear thought at all points.
Dude, there will come a day that alcohol will be completely out of my system
Right.
of wanting to drink. But it's going to be a couple years down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I smoke. That's who I am.
Well, if, by the way, anyone listening, these are my opinions. These are not the views of the United States Army. I would rather smoke than drink. But I'm also not going to put my careers on the line just to smoke a joint.
And it's ridiculous you have to. Like, that's a whole nother ball of
100%.
we don't need to get into. But, like, it's ridiculous that they would rather you get hammered than get high.
Alcohol's a poison.
Yeah, like, everything bad that ever happened to me, that I did something stupid in my life, alcohol was involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the happiest things I ever got rid of, honestly. Like, and it's not like anyone forced me to. It was just like one day I was like, man, I'd rather be less of a jackass. And then just like, it was like, I'm good. But
dude, that is fair.
Yeah.
I mean that's essentially how I came away from alcoholism, because I had a hot minute where like I'd get off work every day. I would go and work, get off work, go drink until about midnight, 1 a.m, get up for work at 4, go to work, day in and day out. And I came to a point where I started, getting the shakes at work. My kidneys started hurting, and I'm like, I need to fucking change something. So then, like, I started, like, forcing myself to not touch any alcohol till the weekend. And then that eventually went to where the only time I ever touch a drink is, like, if I go to a bar, I have, like, 1 or 2 beers, social
Right.
drinking. Or if I'm sitting here on the show, I might have, 1 or 2 Crown and Cokes.
see, I say all this, but when I go to a bass club show and I see Frank and I see Corey, I'm getting hammered.
Oh, dude.
Every single time. I don't know what it is about the combination of Frank and Corey in the same room, but I'm like, I'm going to have to get drunk right now. Like, I don't know why it works like that, but it does.
Some of the drunkest nights I've had outside of, like, once I got over my alcoholism was probably at bass club shows.
Yeah, bro.
And I don't know what in the fuck it is, but you walk in there and you're like, it's time to fucking drink.
It's the vibe, man. It's just like all the homies just, I don't know. Like, it's just the vibe. It makes me love it. Like, but besides that, like right now, I'll sit here and tell you, like, I don't drink. We go to a rave 15 minutes from now. Frank's on stage. I'm gonna grab a beer. I don't know why. I don't know what the math is. Like,
well, speaking of the bass club peeps, they're working with you guys a little bit now too, ain't they?
oh yeah. Shoot. I should get better at plugs. We got Frank White's merch. We got Curfew's merch. We got Zombies merch. All on the website, palegarbagerappers.com. I did the song with Curfew. Frank is the homie from way back. Like, so we're always intermingling. Like, we got the section for them on the website now, though, where they may or may not be about to get their own cards in the set, because.
Well, speaking of cards in the set, let me show the camera what the heck you're talking about. So not only are they the Pale Garbage Rappers, but they also, oh shoot, is that going to pick up good in the camera with the light there? There we go. They also got their own cards. You can't really see it here, but you can go on their website or their Facebook and you can see pretty much all the graphics.
Yeah.
And the graphics are the exact same as the pictures you see of them for their artist card.
Yeah, and we got the NFT collection on OpenSea also, because that's what all this is building to. Like, the NFTs is the artistic side of it. Like, that's what me and Dusty, shout out to Dusty Rose Tattoos over at Deep in Ink next to Milano's. That is the artist that's doing all the actual, like, drawing. Like, and but we got the NFTs set up now, and we're gonna try to do a whole 54 card deck. A set of local musicians and us and stuff like that, and release them, and basically, And if you buy the NFTs, everybody's like, what's the purpose of buying the NFTs? First of all, it really helps support local artists. Like, if you buy someone's NFT, they make what they would off of, like, literally fucking 200,000 streams. Like, so, you know, you're just kicking an artist you like $20 is basically what's happening. But in the future, the NFTs will lead to free merch, free show entry. You know, when the metaverse comes, we're modeling the 3D avatars, and we're working on building a cartoon series right now. And that's still in the early phases. We're still like modeling all the avatars. But, you know, you'll be able to unlock those with the NFTs. They're like the yellow labeled clothes from the Pale Garbage Rappers merch. It's going to let us immediately identify who was down from day one. And, you know, if we're playing a big stadium show and I see some yellow label merch, I'm pulling them up on stage. That's a down from day one person. Like, and that's the spirit of the NFTs and some of the limited edition merch right now. It's like, you rock with us now, we'll rock with you later.
Dude, that is one of the coolest things ever.
Thank you.
I mean, you and I had a pretty good conversation a couple weeks ago on the phone about some of the stuff that you're wanting to do for the local scene, need it be content creators, music, you know, if it the metal scene or the hip hop scene around here. And doing those NFTs, like, dude, NFTs are big right now.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it's like one of those things, like, I feel like we got an amazing product and an amazing artist doing it. Like, I feel like it's not no, like, phoned in homework, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we got a really good artist doing really good work here. We're not just selling trash. Like, because actually, like, some of the NFTs are trash to me. Like, 50 of the exact same thing with the slight alterations. Like, I see a lot of stuff and I don't like it. Like, I don't see the art in it. I see the money grab in it. And I'm like you, bro. I like the art. Like,
Dude, art, I mean, obviously, anyone who knows me knows I've got quite a few tattoos.
yeah.
And I look at tattooing as an extension of someone's drawing. It's just, you know, I love the fact that I'm someone's canvas.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not a very artistic person myself, but I am very, very supportive of the arts. It doesn't matter if it's music, it doesn't matter if it's photography, it doesn't matter if it's fucking painting and drawing or doing tattoos. I mean, art has always been one of my biggest loves forever.
Yeah, I mean, same, bro. Like, and I hate seeing artists get so frustrated they quit. Like, especially because at a local and regional level, like, art still got a lot of, like, pain and feeling in it. There's no, like, I don't know, like, money trash in it. Like, it hasn't been spruced up. Like, I like dirty sounding music. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I like underground sounding shit. That's just who I am, what I listen to. And that's why I like more regional and local stuff. And once artists get to a certain level, most of them lose me just because we're just talking about different shit at that point. Like,
well, have you noticed in the last, like, year how affordable good recording equipment has gotten?
I mean, yo, the gap is closing. It really is. Like, especially camera technology. Like, I mean, there's been great drops in camera and drone technology. Like, and because, I don't know, we were looking at, like, I saw GoPros, like Hero 9s, I think, at Costco for like $249 the other day. That's crazy. That was like $500-$600 to 4 years ago?
Well, the Hero 9 was last year's model. They
Right,
just
but I
dropped
mean just the GoPro in general.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's just a new model.
You go back and grab like a Hero 7, you can pick that up for like $100 right now.
That's crazy.
A Hero 8 you can pick up for like $150. Hero 9 you can pick up for like, you know, $250. Now the Hero 10 is their new baby. You know, it's got all the upgraded fancy stuff in it. But, you know, I mean, even, you know, going with these microphones, I wanted to go with SM7Bs, but I was like, ooh, it's going to hurt my pocket too much to go with SM7Bs.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, bro, these are fine. Like, don't get, like, these sound perfectly good.
Bro, these are the baby brother to the SM7Bs.
Right, but I mean.
But I would rather have these because they're not as big and bulky as the SM7B.
Right. And I mean, you're just recording straight on audio into a condenser mic. Like, there's not like that much technology you need for this particular setup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need that. Like,
no. Well, the wild things about these mics, and the reason I went with them, because what we were using were, just handheld mics from Rockville. Did a good job, but they weren't the best out there. You know what I mean? And I started looking at YouTube, like, comparisons between this and the SM7B, and it's like they're literally the same mic. The only difference is the acoustic flooring.
yeah.
And it's a little bit smaller. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go with those. But just seeing, like, even mixers. Like, you can go get a decent mixer right now that will do everything that I need it to do, or, everything that someone would need it to do for whatever the application is for like $150.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. Like, I mean, but it's great, though. I love the fact that, like, the money gap's closing, and now it's just going to be the skill gap. Like, I don't know. I'm happy that the underdog can actually make things now and get them to people. Like, I would have loved that when I was, like, 17, 18 years old. If I had all the access to things that people have these days, that's all I would have ever done. Like, I would have never stopped. Because, I mean, we made content in the hardest ways possible back then, where it took, like, literally 3 weeks to get one thing audio right. You know what I'm saying? Yo, do you mind if I smoke a cigarette in here? Is that a yes?
Bro, you can have a good old cigarette in here. You're good to go. One thing that I've always loved has been that I just got into, like, doing audio anything, coming in this podcast and doing it. So I had no idea, what mixing and mastering was. I didn't know what, that you could go in and take certain points in an audio track and turn it up or turn it down. Or right. So, I learned a lot of new things just chilling, And then here I am thinking I'm a smarty pants. And now, like, I'm talking to people that have been doing music their whole lives, and, like, I'm actually having, like, somewhat sophisticated, semi-intelligent conversations with them, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I'm starting to learn shit.
Hell yeah. I mean, yo, it's a good feeling, bro. Like, and, I mean, I don't know. I remember, like, I've always thought my music sounded like trash, no matter what I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? As far as, like, recording quality. Like, back in the day, I was actually telling my son this story, I don't know, like 1995, probably. Like, me, Richie Day, and Brian Lewis recorded our first demo on an old home stereo system with a little cheap-ass blue mixer. I can't even remember what type mixer this was. It was, and then a DJX keyboard, and I shit you not, we had a broken set of headphones that we had turned into a microphone. And basically that's how we recorded our first demo, was on that. And then it slowly upgraded from that. And now, coming back, we got all professional everything. And it's just weird, you know what I'm saying? Because there's, like, no, like, I don't know, it's weird to be able to make, like, perfect studio quality music in your bedroom if you want now.
Honestly, I've that's the weirdest thing to me, because, like, coming from, like, I'm a huge metalhead, so seeing what the punk pop scene, local punk pop scene's doing, the local metal rock scene, and hearing these local bands that 2-3 years ago you would have known that this was recorded in a bedroom.
Yeah, but now they got Big J.
Dude, now you got shout out to Big J.
Shout out to Big J, because Big J's the fucking truth. I've known Big J for probably 30 years, and he was one of the coolest dudes I've ever fucking known. And he is the truth in a recording studio.
Dude, I remember the first time I talked to Big J at a Defending Kane show. I was scared shitless because, he's a teddy bear. But if you look at him across the room, he's kind of intimidating.
See, I'm sure he is, bro. I've known him for so long. If I see Big J across the room, I'm just going to run to him like, what's up, dog? Like, I couldn't even imagine the intimidation. Like,
well, dude, this conversation I had with Brandon, and I was like, I remember the first time I talked to you, my knees were knocking together because all I ever heard about was Brandon Wright, lead singer, defending Kane,
Hell yeah.
Local superstar. You know what I mean? So I remember the first time I went to go talk to Big J, it was at the show they did at Brightbox, that their free show for the Salvation Army, Toys for Tots. That's what it was for. And I was talking to him, and the whole time I'm like, I hope I sound fucking kind of smart. I mean, but dude, Big J is awesome. Big J did the mastering for our intro song.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he's
And,
a beast, man.
Dude, he's so fucking
Brandon's
good.
another guy. Like, he's one of the super nicest guys on the fucking planet. Like, he's always fun to talk to. He's another dude, if I saw in public, I'd definitely run across the room to say what's up. Like,
Brandon's one of my favorite people.
hell yeah. I love what he's doing with the rock scene around here, man. Like, he's making it pop.
And I'm trying to help him do as much as I can
Hell
with
yeah.
it, dude. Because pretty much, if we're not bringing on a band, I'm typically bringing on someone to talk about something serious, like gun safety or
Right, yeah.
But like most of the bands coming on around here, I find them at Right Live shows and network with them there.
That's what's
To
up.
be like, hey, 30 minutes across the mountain, I got a little studio set up. You should come shoot the shit with me.
Hell yeah. I mean, but that's your sponsor. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Y'all supposed to be networking like that. Like,
Oh, 100%. I mean,
shout out to Right Live for sponsoring this episode.
we just had a band come on who played at Bad Habits back in January called Like Fires Everywhere. I never listened to them, and they were kind of a last-second pop on the show type thing because I thought I was going to be out of town, so I had to cancel on somebody. And then I found out, oh, fuck, I will be in town. So I booked with them. Dudes drove all the way down here from Baltimore to come on the show Saturday.
Damn, that's what's up.
But as soon as, I booked them, I just started listening to them. And their music took me back to, high school, middle school, listening to, pop punk and, metalcore. And they were some dope dudes.
Bro, that's what I like about regional music. It's none of this, overproduced trash that's on the radio. Like, everybody's still making what they love, so... all the genres still actually exist. It's not just crammed into trash. You know what I'm saying? That I've really gained an appreciation for regional music over the last couple years. Just being fed up with everything that the mainstream produces at this point.
Only mainstream-ish music, I guess you could say I listen to is I still listen to a lot of older Day to Remember, older ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg.
Nah, older, don't get me wrong, the older stuff is still there. Something happened in 2018, bro, and it's just gone downhill to a level I hate to get on this subject, but the double XL freshman classes. Bruh, I know there are rappers in this town that are those rappers' ages that are 1,000 times better than them. And I don't mean one rapper in this town. I mean 15, 20. They could have had that spot, but there's no spotlight here. You know what I'm saying? And instead, they got, I don't know. I don't want to call any rappers out by name because I don't have any beef with anybody. Go get your bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at anyone for going to get the bag. But just on an artistic level, I think a lot of the music today is trash.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
and I mean, dude, there's even rock bands that I grew up listening to that I listen to their stuff now, and I'm like, you are not the same as you were.
Oh yeah,
you know. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a couple new stuff that comes out that's got that catchy tune that pulls me the fuck in. But all I listen to anymore is regional, local music. Doesn't matter if it's hip hop, rock, EDM, whatever. I don't even really listen to Excision and shit no more.
I mean, honestly, most of my music comes from one of my homeboys sharing something that I haven't heard of and me being in my car and being like, yo, I'll peep that. And then one or two things happens. It either goes away or I hit the button to throw it on the playlist for the local shit. And, I mean, that playlist just keeps building.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how mine is. Anytime Zombie drops anything,
Oh, yeah.
instantly on it. I got a homie up in Philadelphia named Metatron. Anytime he drops anything, I'm on it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's all on the EDM side. Now, Chaz Canary, another one of my pretty good friends, him and I went to school together. Dude, as soon as his album dropped on Bandcamp, I was like, well, his EP, not an album, his EP, I was on it like white on rice because I remember him back in high school just throwing down. I mean, he made a lot of funny rap back then, but then he remarketed himself and turned to rapping about more serious things. And it's just wild seeing a boyfriend, a guy from Berkeley Springs doing his thing, going up to New York to record once a year and throwing down enough tracks to probably drop 6 EPs in a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Like, I love seeing people get their grind on, man. Like, it feels good to just watch people shine up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never be one of these dudes. Like, I don't understand how people sit around and wish bad on people. Like, I could never be one of those dudes. Like, I love watching people shine, man. Just whatever they're doing, I love watching it. Like, because I feel like you can always learn something watching other people's shit, too. Like, you may think you got it all figured out, then you watch something and you're like, oh, look at that camera angle they used right there. You know what I'm saying? And just little stuff like that, I feel like everybody can learn from everybody, man.
Dude, I mean, that's like the one thing that caught my eye was whenever you made that Facebook post about doing like a monthly meeting with everyone around here.
I think that's a great idea.
Dude, I think that is a dope fucking idea.
Like, I mean, for real, because you got older generations, like, not to call them older, but they're older than me, and I'm 42, so I consider that the older generation. But you got people around here with knowledge, bro, like Goody, or Twin Loops. He goes by Twin Loops now. I knew him as Goody for most of my life, you know what I'm saying? Then you got like Joey Broy, and they've been around, bro. They've been around real scenes. Like, I've been around a couple real scenes. Brandon's been around a couple real scenes. Like, we could make one. We've got the talent here to make a real scene. Like, and I don't see why it couldn't pop. I feel like this area, like, if it worked together, it could literally be Seattle in the 90s with the grunge movement. Like, because our music has a sound, and it sounds different than everywhere else's, but it sounds familiar. And, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just think it could happen.
Oh, dude, I agree. I mean, I remember as soon as I saw that, I hit you up, and I was like, bro, I'm in.
Hell yeah. Like,
and not even to help myself, but, like, because you have a lot of people out there that they know social media, but, maybe they didn't pay attention to the algorithm switch. Or, maybe their marketing's working, but hey, maybe you could try this and make it work a little bit better for you.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of different camps in this area doing the same thing, that if they came together and shared their knowledge, like, for instance, like Logan, he kills it on TikTok, bro. Like, if he shared his TikTok knowledge, and like I show people how to get the YouTube views, and everybody got something, then you could bring them on for interviews. Brandon can put them on a stage. Like, all the pieces are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all there. Like, we just need to find somewhere to basically let a bunch of rowdy musicians gather and talk is the challenge I'm running into. Like, because there's not many places that are just like, hey, come meet here, rowdy musicians, and talk about your art. Like, that's not really a real thing.
No.
Like,
maybe it's something we got to make around here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been definitely looking out for spots, man. And, like, it hasn't came yet. But when I find it, I'm going to start throwing those meetings, man. I don't care if I'm the only person in the room. I'm going to try.
Well, dude, as long as the meetings are on a weekend, I'll fucking be there.
Oh, they'd have to be. Cause,
yeah.
I mean, what are we going to do, throw it Monday afternoon?
Hell yeah, why not? We're in here Monday afternoon. Nah, man, usually I'm in a hotel room doing this over a Zoom call. So the fact that I was able to do 2 weeks back-to-back in studio live stream.
Hell yeah.
Well, last weekend was supposed to be one of them, hey, we're going to come over and we're going to, like, fine-tune stuff. And it went from fine-tuning to, hey, let's fucking run a live stream and test out Starlink and see how fucking good it really is. And I had on the Four Leaf Loser on and Brad Harden, and we sat around here for probably an hour and a half, and they played music live on Facebook and here.
That's what's up. So let's talk about Starlink for a second.
Dude, Starlink's fucking dope.
Is it? Like,
the only shitty thing is where I live at, I got trees everywhere, so
right.
It does get obstructed. So, like, that's why we have these latency issues every now and again during this live stream. So, if you're tuning in, this will be on YouTube. So, if you want to see the latency-free version because it records straight to the computer, pop in and check it out on our YouTube. But it's awesome. Great fucking speed. Killer download speed and upload. Like,
hell yeah.
And the problem I have with it is literally stuff I can change. All it takes is me getting into a tree and cutting a couple limbs.
That's what's up, because I've been wondering. Let's talk about boss moves for a minute. Elon Musk with the Starlink. When Ukraine came out, like, oh, Russia cut off our internet, and he was just like, Starlink's on in your country. You got internet. You know, I'm not a fan of billionaires, but that is a boss move. That right there made me like, maybe dudes are Tony Stark, because Bezos is Lex Luthor. Like,
oh, dude, when fucking Daddy Elon's going to save the world.
It seems like that's his goal. Like, people shit on him, but he seems to want to do good and good things. Like, he ain't got all the answers, but he's trying to find them.
Well, dude, think about it, right? He knows, just like all of us do, our time on Earth is numbered.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I want to get to Mars ASAP. I want to get off this planet as soon as we fucking can. Because that's the only way to continue the human life. Because eventually this planet's done. And that's his biggest goal. Always been an issue living out here where I live at. Maybe where you live at. I don't really know how.
We got Comcast.
See, you got Comcast. All I can get's Frontier out here.
Yeah, and that's...
Frontier or HughesNet. Those were our only two options for the longest
That's
fucking
how my
time.
father's house is, and I mean, they're basically worthless. That's like not having internet. You can check your email.
Oh, dude, exactly. And then Elon came out with the rural internet of Starlink.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, dude, literally, it gets shipped to you, and you set it up yourself. You don't even need anyone to come out and set it up for you. You just put the fucking satellite together. You go outside. You turn it on. You let it triangulate where the satellites are coming from. It triangulates its strongest signal. And boom, you got fucking internet.
That's wild, man. Like, let's go, Elon.
But I had it set up, rolling, and ready to go in 15 minutes.
Damn.
Granted, it's ran through my window right now because I'm waiting on a piece from Starlink because I'm going to mount it to the side of the roof. And but I'm just waiting on that piece, and then, it's just about, drilling a hole so the cord can stay a little bit hidden. And then, I mean, I'll have to give it a little bit to retriangulate then, because Starlink gets better over time. It's like his cars, right? It's constantly sending feedback back to say, okay, it's constantly learning. Like, okay, I get a better signal from this satellite, or I get a better signal if I turn this way, and it does everything on its fucking own.
That's awesome, dude. Like, I mean, the advances in technology are just insane at this point. It's just, like, we're so close to, like, what we were promised at this time in the movies when we were kids.
Oh, I mean, you've got cars that turn into fucking boats now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, the next step is fucking flying. I mean,
they've had flying cars. Me and my first producer, shout out Chris Henry, we used to talk about this thing in 2002 when we were recording the album before my first album that came out. Like, I mean, I'm talking 20 years ago. There was Sky Car. It's what it was called. And they were waiting on the proper patents to release it, and they still haven't let them release it to this day because of the airspace. We've had flying cars since at least then I know of. Like, and I would love to actually get Sky Car, but
you know how much faster you could get if you could go straight line?
Oh yeah, just fly over the mountains instead of having to drive wiggly through them.
Oh, fuck, man! Living back here, it takes me 30 minutes to get anywhere.
Bro, it's a trip back here. Like, you really, it's a ways.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not like that far, but at all points you feel lost until you're here.
Yeah,
like it's not like that far, but you just feel completely lost.
Dude, there's times where I'll be driving home. You know, I shouldn't say this, but like I know these roads so good, I'll zone out, and I'll come to, like, you know, I'll be driving good, but like, you know, whenever you've been driving for a long time, you know, you zone out a little bit, and I'll come to and I'll be like, fuck, where am I at? Even though I know these fucking roads.
I believe it, bro. Like, I mean, it's definitely like I'm sitting there looking at the GPS on the way here. I'm like, I think I lost service and this shit's wrong. But then, like, nah, it's the right way.
Dude, I remember the first time Brandon came out here. The GPS tried taking him to my aunt and uncle's house, which is like, it's just right down, like right over the hill from us.
Okay.
And I remember coming out and he's like, dude, I'm fucking lost. And I'm like, oh, don't fucking tell me that. And I step out and I see him sitting in the middle of the road and I'm like, bro, just back up. But honestly, living out here is awesome because you can almost get away with anything out here. Just because,
I can imagine. Like,
dude,
who the fuck's gonna see you?
dude, I've thrown some pretty crazy parties back here in my time.
Hell
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Cops don't get called because the neighbors give a shit, but most of my neighbors are family, so
Right.
they're probably at the party 9 times out of 10.
Right.
But, you know, I shoot fucking deer out of my backyard. Like,
That's wild, bro. Like,
I was talking to my uncle today, like completely hypothetical. We passed those ponds that are like whenever you're on the blacktop before you get back to the dirt road.
yeah.
I was like, dude, how dope would that be to put a pond in the front yard and fish from the front porch?
Yo, that's what I love about living on a lake now. I can go fishing in the summer.
That's right, you are over there.
Yeah. It's
How long you been over there now?
Bro, I moved in the first day of the pandemic. Like, and then my first month I was basically there with almost nothing because of the pandemic. And I was like, what a day to buy a house. I can't even, like, I swear, that ass, like, I had a TV on a wall, basically, and a recliner, and just sitting there playing, and I had internet, and then just waiting for all my stuff to be able to get there. Just me and my video games for a month.
But hey, man, I think we are coming up on about an hour. You know, we still got 5 fucking people tuning in. Appreciate y'all listening to us shoot the fucking shit for a hot minute. But
What's up, everybody? Appreciate y'all.
I say we wrap this whole girl up. You got any closing remarks?
Demon Mode's coming out Friday. Everybody, if you can, go pre-save that. Go pre-buy that on Apple. Let's run this thing up the charts. Let's try to actually get this thing up there and put the area on the map. You know, go subscribe to the Pale Garbage Rappers YouTube channel. Check out palegarbagerappers.com. Buy some of our merch. We design cool-ass clothes, man. Get our NFTs. We design cool-ass pictures. Shout out to the whole squad. Love y'all, and that's it.
All right. Time for me to do my shameless plugs. If y'all can, go check out our website at thewilsonkingpodcast.com. Also, there's a donate button on there. So if you can help us out by keeping improving this show, I would really fucking appreciate it. It'd be fucking awesome. And if you don't, cool, just keep on listening and showing us love, because that's what I keep doing this for, is the love that you all show me. If it wasn't for you guys, the show probably would have ended not too long ago. But also, go check us out wherever you can check us out at. We got a few videos on YouTube. We're working on getting more, but go check out our YouTube, The Wilson King Podcast. And find us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Wherever you want to find us, we're probably there. With that being said, everybody have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Be responsible. Peace. Oh no, is it still going? Dude, one thing I hate about Facebook Live is the fact that, like, whenever you hit end live stream,